Welcome to Phrasal Verb Practice. This is the place to learn real English, one phrasal verb at a time. My name is Marissa, and I'll walk you through this learning journey. Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to learn and practice the phrasal verb break up. So let's start with a very common way we use break up. When we say break up, we're often talking about the end of a romantic relationship. It means two people decide not to be together anymore. For example, they decided to break up after 3 years together. She broke up with her boyfriend last month. Are they still together, or did they break up? Now, there's another way we use break up. We also use break up when something separates into smaller pieces or parts. For example, the ice will break up in the spring. He used a tool to break up the concrete. The meeting was broken up into short sessions. There's one more very common use of break up. We use break up when something is stopped or interrupted. For example, the teacher stepped in to break up the fight. The police were called to break up the crowd. Loud music helped break up the silence. So here's the main idea that connects all these uses. When we say break up, something that was together is no longer together. It either ends, separates, or stops. Now let's take a quick look at how people usually understand break up in other languages. In Spanish, it's often terminar, separar, or dispersar. In French, people say rompre or se separer. In Portuguese, you'll hear terminar or separar. In Italian, it's rompere or separarsi. In German, it's sich trennen or auflösen. In Japanese, it can be wakeru or jeisansuru. And in Chinese, it's usually funsho, funkai, or jeisan. People use break up when they talk about relationships ending, when things separate into pieces, or when someone steps in to stop a situation. Let's look at a few clear examples together. They decided to break up last year. The police moved in to break up the fight. The ice will break up soon. She broke up with him over the phone. The event was broken up into 2 parts. Now let's talk briefly about how break up works grammatically. Break up can be separable or inseparable, depending on how it's used. When there's an object, it's usually separable. They broke up the fight. They broke the fight up. With pronouns, the pronoun goes in the middle. They broke it up. She broke them up. When there's no object, it stays together. They broke up last year. The ice broke up quickly. Now let's practice. First, you'll listen to a short text from everyday life. Then you'll hear another text in a professional or office setting. Are you ready? Let's start. Yesterday felt like one of those days where little things kept changing plans. In the morning, my friend texted me to say she and her boyfriend decided to break up after months of trying to fix things. She sounded calm, but you could tell it was still heavy. Later, over coffee, she talked about how hard it was to finally break up, even when you know it's the right choice. While we were talking, a loud argument started at the table next to us, and the manager had to step in to break up the situation before it got worse. Everyone went quiet, and the mood in the cafe changed. To lighten things up, someone turned on music, and it helped break up the awkward silence. In the afternoon, I went home to help my mom in the kitchen. She asked me to break up some ice so we could cool drinks faster. As I hit the tray, the ice broke up into small pieces and scattered everywhere, making us laugh. It felt good to focus on something simple. Later, my younger brother came in upset because his friends had broken up into groups for a school project and left him out. We talked it through, and by dinner, he felt better. At the table, a small disagreement broke up between two relatives about weekend plans, but my dad joked his way through it and managed to break it up before it turned serious. That evening, I called my cousin. She told me she had just broken up with someone she'd been seeing casually. She said it wasn't dramatic, just honest. We talked until things felt lighter. Before going to bed, I thought about how many moments can break up a normal day. Relationships, conversations, even ice cubes can break up in different ways. Some endings feel sad, some feel necessary, and some just make room for something new the next day. Great, that was the first text. How many times did you hear the phrasal verb of the day? Now, let's move on to the second text. The day started with a long planning meeting that was already running over time. Halfway through, a disagreement started to grow, and the manager stepped in to break up the discussion before it turned unproductive. She suggested we pause, take notes, and come back with clearer points later. After the meeting, our team lead decided to break up the project into smaller tasks so everyone could focus better. It made the workload feel more manageable. I was assigned one section, while the rest of the team handled the others. By doing this, we avoided confusion and didn't let stress break up the team's rhythm. Later that morning, HR sent out an email about a partnership that had officially ended. The company had decided to break up the agreement because priorities had changed on both sides. It wasn't dramatic, just a professional decision that made sense. Still, people talked about it quietly over coffee. Around lunchtime, two coworkers got into a heated exchange near the break room. Voices rose, and a supervisor quickly stepped in to break up the situation. Afterward, both were asked to cool off, and the tension slowly faded. Someone joked to break up the silence, and the mood lightened. In the afternoon, our department met again to review progress. Because the tasks had been broken up earlier, updates were clear and focused. One colleague shared that she was relieved the work had been broken up instead of landing on one person. Before the day ended, I had a one-on-one with my manager. She mentioned how important it is to know when to break up long meetings, difficult conversations, or even working styles that no longer fit. As I shut down my computer, I realized how often decisions at work involve knowing when to break up something so the team can move forward stronger and more focused. Great, that was the second text, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for following this channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!